Doomsday device.
Hey Evo fans, this is Todd, and let's go ahead and take a look at the old Blast Attack from the 80s and check out how cool it is, and look at the actual classics and do some comparison and talk about some issues with the Blast Attack. Blast Attack, Blast Attack, Blast Attack. So Blast Attack was a kind of a crazy, cool new figure they made. And he was so new, he had the new joints, which really aren't new anymore, but as opposed to the rubber band joints. So his articulation was his arms would move, his legs would move, and his head would move, but not his waist. And the reason for this was, you can see the seam right here, he would blast apart. Now he did have a giant red halberd, if you would, that was kind of techno looking. But on his back, he had this small little hole where you would take and you'd plug in this piece. And then once you plugged it in, it had a plunger on the other side. And when you pressed the plunger, let's see if we can do this together. Do you press the plunger? He'd blow apart. There you go. And so the idea is he would actually explode and cause a big giant explosion around everybody around him. Now sometimes in the comics and stuff, they would show him bouncing around on two separate legs and fighting people. Kind of a weird thing. Can you even balance this? Let's see if I can balance just this one. Oh, you can. How about this side here? Oh, come on. A little bit more. His head's a little heavier on this one, so makes it a little harder to balance. Oh, too much. Too much, man. Almost got it. Oh, so close. But yet so far away. Yeah, it's really hard to balance on this side because the head being so top heavy. So I'd probably put the halberd on this side just to use as a crutch to hold him up. Don't touch. Hooray! We got it. So, that looks so crazy. Mid-explosion. Anyway, and so this little cool plunger piece, here's how it kind of works when you depress it. Let me zoom this up a little bit. As you depress it, the little angle piece comes out just like that. So, press out. Now, this same piece was actually used in other toy lines. And one toy line that you guys know I also have pieces of is the Brave Star Fort Kernum. So, for this toy line, it was used to activate some things. So, if you take a look here, you can see there's the plunger being stuck in there in the front to blast it open, the front area, so you can have this part pop open. And then, I got a whole set right here. You had the cable release was used for the blasting the vault, escape from jail, and then the command center, the one I just showed you. So the escape from jail, you'd stick it in, and the window would pop open. So it was like they were blasting the window open. So it was kind of cool, the different effects you could do with it. Oh, there it is for the cable release for the vault. Now, so I was planning on making a bunch of cable releases. I went and bought some plastic tubing right here. Shoop. And I was going to reproduce the ends of these using some hard plastic. And then I was going to use just a regular filament strip in the middle that was unaltered. And this is actually one of the filament tubes we use for the printers. And I was going to cut them to length and make a whole bunch of these to sell and to use for myself. And I was thinking about, instead of having just a thumb plunger like this, boop, 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 I was going to actually make something so it looks like you're depressing something for like setting off a bomb, where it has the two handles, and you'd have the person with two handles push it down at the same time. And that way it makes sense having a lead wire from the plunger to blow up the safe or to blow up whatever else it is leading to the dynamite that you have in that spot. So that's why I was planning on making that. I even bought red tubing, which I thought red tubing was even cooler for that purpose, but I don't know where I stuck the red tubing now. But we may luck out. if the new Blast Attack uses the exact same plunger piece, it might work, and I just have to buy more Blast Attacks to use. Now, we did get a version in Classics, this guy right here, and he is really cool looking, but he has no cool effects. He did come with a plunger, but it doesn't actually work. It's more like a giant whip he can hang on to, so no pushing power. It's even a different shape than this one, so you can't even use the pieces to try to mock shift your own out of leftover pieces. So, and he doesn't even have a spot to stick it in, so you can't even pretend it goes in the back. Now, I have been tempted to try to make this guy actually explode and work. Now, people have made different versions of him where he comes apart in different pieces and chunks. I don't think his arm comes off. No, his arm doesn't come off. But I was thinking it'd be so cool to cut him. And so I have a bunch of these guys still mint in the package unopened that I was going to take apart, seal these together so it's one piece, and then cut one with extra on one side and then sand it down flush, and then cut the other one down and then sand it down flush. So I have two halves that are perfectly flush all the way through. So that was my plan, and figured out somehow to put some kind of stuff to make him explode. Now, it is funny, he has some stuff that you would see somebody from the bomb squad or something having, so that is kind of interesting with the pads right here on the front. But being he is the bomb, he wouldn't need the pads to protect him from being exploded upon. But he is a very interesting kind of figure. And I'm actually surprised in today's day and age that they were able to re-release this figure with all the different activity we've seen in recent years. Anyway, so that is my story. Now, I do want to talk about this figure if you happen to have an old one from the 80s. This is actually cast in gold plastic. Now, this gold plastic has metallic pieces in it. And the bad part about that is with the metallic pieces, it cracks and breaks really easy. People store this guy on their shelf loaded, under a load. Anytime you have something under spring loaded, you are causing pressure the whole entire time on the figure, and they'll find their figure exploded in pieces, not just where the crease is, but everywhere. And it's because they stored them under a load. You don't want to have that potential energy being stored the whole entire time. So any time you have something that has spring loaded, always release and store that way. So if I was going to store this guy on my shelf, I'd probably take and create some kind of thing that looks like an explosion with cotton balls and glue or something and stick it between him like he was mid-explosion or something, just so it would look cool. And that way then he's not under any kind of tension. Because we know these things under tension, all of them, your missile firing toys and everything else, don't leave them under pressure. You'll notice my Micronauts, when I store them without the fists, without the chest missiles, all that, for that reason, because it will slowly break the plastic down to the point where it can no longer hold it together. And in this case, this plastic they use will just disintegrate on you. Now, I was lucky and I got one that was never stored under a load, and he did not disintegrate yet. But I know his time is limited, so I'm definitely going to buy a few of those Blast Attacks from the new ones. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that website. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the website. So as you can see at the Mattel Creations website, if you scroll down, well, except all, it talks about the cool new movie, which I'm avoiding all trailers on, as you know. And then it has Explore Eternia. You keep scrolling, and way down here, somewhere towards the bottom, is Arriving with a Bang. And he's coming up pretty soon. And here we have Blast Attack. Now, he is $22. That's not too bad. And he does have his cord here, which It does look different than the one I just showed you guys, so it may not work in my Fort Kernum. We'll see. Hopefully it does. So what I want to know from you guys, are you buying 1, 2, 3? How many are you planning on buying? 0? And let me know. I'll put the link in the description for this. But he does look pretty cool. I love the fun pictures they made too of him exploding. That's so cool. It's so cool. He's going to be a fun figure. I'm going to do another video, of course, when I get one, because it's going to be one of those cool figures that will be fun to play with and see how far he explodes out. Yes. That's so weird. As you click the pictures, it goes down instead of changing them. How weird. Oh, he's going to be cool. He's going to be cool. Now, it's weird as he actually first started for me in the Snake Man. And I'll talk more about that when I actually get the figure in my hand. And I'll show you guys the comic and everything else. It'll be a fun video for us to do together. But, yeah, very cool. And like I told you before, I'm going to buy as many that let me buy. Hopefully it's 3 at least. Because I want those cords to use for my Fort Kernum. Hopefully it fits in there. All right. I know, pretty short, sweet video, but that's all I got until now. And then when we get the figure in hand, it will be a lot more fun showing other cool stuff. So if you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe to the channel. And like always, please share it. Sharing it helps the channel more than anything else. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Like they say in the 1987 movie, good journey. Bye now.
If you found enjoyment, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Do it.
Doomsday device.